Then the barrette, the perfume. It's like taking Angel in on a mission to distract guard dogs. Look at her! Does she look like operative material to you? God, I hate this fucking mission. This is entirely a stealth mission. And it starts off with this guy named Baron Dumbass's office. Yes, it's pronounced Dumas, but it's spelled like dumbass.
The Baron usually reserves Mondays for golf. Tuesdays and Thursdays are for skeet shooting, Wednesdays for fishing, and Friday afternoons for backgammon.
Sounds like a busy schedule. How does he find time for appointments?
His lordship reserves Friday mornings between 11 and 11:15 a.m. for business matters.
Without any looking past the receptionist, you sneak in drops of green laxatives in her coffee, which are so fast at acting it gives Kate an super easy advantage to sneak by, only except the security camera and the people are so paranoid about my presence. Even have to constantly hide and actually cause distractions. And one of which includes hiding in the bathroom where you can actually hear the receptionist on her diarrhea break in the bathroom next door. And then when you get to Baron Dumbass's office, it will naturally set off an alarm if you don't turn off the security system, which you can only do if you cause a distraction to put out the fire. Because no matter how long you wait, the guy monitoring the system will not even return to his post. And then we get to his office, my golly is this huge! It has a retractable futuristic staircase along with a huge lounge here and there. I mean, is this really necessary for an office in your main headquarters? The dumbass must have been not doing any work at all. I mean, even on the next mission, even on the next segment, it involves working around Dumbass's factory. And this is the only case where the robotic poodle can even come in handy. And even then, it's fucking useless! Because you still have to avoid a security camera! And all you do in this part, you take snapshots of booklets. And you actually have to wait for the workers to move away. And this involves long waiting for stupid conversations to end.
Damn it!
Ah, don't pout. Your eyes get all small and piggy when you're sulking.
Then finally you get the interview with Baron Dumbass at his mansion under the disguise of a magazine. And during this cutscene, you will oh my god! Would you look at this? Would you look at this Vito guy? Oh, what dumb Vito in very ill-fitting hiking shorts and a pith helmet and knee-high socks. Why? The knee-high socks are great! Don't you dare talk about them knee socks! They look stupid with hiking shorts, you idiot! It's like these people who wear socks with sandals all day that I can't stand. And by this interview segment, you actually get to find out that his name implies that he's a dumbass, which is really only to gather intelligence about his connection to harm.
What's your secret?
Well, I suppose it takes a solid appreciation of the fundamentals of business success. Once you have that, the rest is easy. Yes, you see, in my experience, the less one knows about running a business, the less he can screw up. I make all the important decisions. The rest is just, paperwork.
Is there any place you favor above all others for hunting?
Ah, most certainly.
Let me guess. Kenya.
Oh, goodness, no. I don't speak a word of Chinese.
But Kenya's in Africa.
Oh, I thought you were referring to the one in China.
All right, then. How about Bengal?
Cold weather doesn't agree with me.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm quite fond of Bristol.
Partridge.
Pandas. Giant pandas.
Bristol, England?
Yes, indeed.
I wasn't aware of any giant pandas in Bristol.
Well, they're important.
What's the most heroic thing you ever did on safari?
Ah, yeah, splendid question. Well, I once wrestled a lion to the ground and strangled it to death with my bare hands. Yes, I remember now. My porter had injured his leg and was about to be mauled.
Dear Lord! Dear Lord, how courageous!
And his name says it all! He is a dumbass! And next he actually have to go to a nearby construction site of new dumbass enterprise buildings and actually find another office where the Baron actually keeps more intelligence item in more of his safes. Yes, this guy has 2 offices, oh my god, which also includes a golf course, a swimming pool, and even a fireplace which contains a gas chamber of, oh my god, toxic cyanide gas where I hallucinate goats and giraffes! Now, along the way, you actually fight Ingo Wagner without warning as a boss. Yeah, we're halfway through the game, and this is the first boss fight we have. Yeah, she's just charging you with her sword in a Valkyrie costume with terrible singing to a very terrible radio soundtrack where a bunch of orange overall henchmen actually shoot you from above. You see, Inga is immune to the bullets you shoot at her because her metal armor is so strong that it surprisingly bounces off bullets. What you're really supposed to do is turn off the radio, because then guess what? She'll stop what she's doing, run over, and turn the radio back on, which happens to be conveniently settling over a pool of water, which you then turn the electricity on and supposed to electrocute her. And now back to the Baron's safe. And this part is very tricky because it happens to have laser tripwires that set off poison gas that will kill you. And as it sets off the poison gas, you're fucked because all the doors are locked. Even if you happen to reach the trap door, you can't get out because the trap door is locked saying, fuck you, you're dead. And I guarantee you, this is where you will smash the keyboard or your controller out in frustration and anger after failing about 1,000 times. Oh, and you will fail. I mean, then after dodging it painstakingly, you happen to take a picture of the one intelligence item until you come across Volkov again. Volkov uses Goodman as a tool.
Don't listen to him, Archer.
I realize you are American, and therefore feel entitled to speak your mind whenever you please. But you are also at gunpoint.
And you know what? Goodman ends up getting shot. Wow, it must suck to be Kate. I mean, every man she's come into contact thus far has met his end. And you actually start to feel sorry for the guy based on the touchy cutscenes. Barely, based on how obnoxious and stupid he was. And not to mention downright sexist. And now there's a new briefing on, and guess what the new briefing is? It apparently happens to do with Harm's biological weapon being used as causing people to actually detonate within a certain time interval. Yeah, the prime target is very rich people. Yeah, I can really guess that the 99% is really angry at the 1%.
I only wish the Commissioner were here to fatten the pot.
Here I am. Commissioner, good of you to join us. We're just about to embark on a little bet.
Gordon here contends that his non-Cuban cigars will dupe seasoned connoisseurs like us.
Rubbish.
This is a fine delicacy for the Bilderberg group meeting. Isn't that right, jolly old fellow? We apparently find out that they've been infected with some explosive microchip bacterium, which causes its victims to belch uncontrollably before they explode.
I'm not sure. On my way here, a big bald chap with an eye patch poked me in the leg with his umbrella. I've been a bit gassy ever since.
The only cure for this is an antidote produced in outer space of all places, and it's downright very perishable. This terroristic bioweapon was in fact a patent from Dr. Schenker's research. And now you're actually aboard a rescue mission on some commercial railway that happens to be in the Pacific Northwest to actually locate where Dr. Schenker is likely being held hostage. God, this is like, 2 times the guy's been kidnapped. And this is a really annoying part of the mission. You actually have to achieve an abandoned train ticket while avoiding the conductor as an unidentified passenger. And all he'll say is,
Tickets, please. Tickets, please.
oh, and avoiding this conductor is a pain in the ass, okay? Because he can easily be distracted, and if you do spray him with your stun gas, the conductor has a heart attack and he dies, which causes you to fail the mission. I mean, no one else has a heart attack whenever I spray stun gas in their face. It just temporarily blinds them. What, is he allergic to stun gas? And just to answer your question, the exact same thing happens when you spray sleep gas or acid gas on him. So you have to avoid him at all costs. You have to hide in the train booth or in the restrooms until you actually happen to obtain a ticket. I mean, who would just leave a train ticket hiding around? I mean, don't they usually take that as people board the train? I mean, and plus, the ticket could have been someone else's and registered to a different person.
I love riding the train.
And then after you apprehend a harm agent, you actually have a lot more agents on board and make your way across the caboose and then end up at an abandoned train station where you're supposed to locate Dr. Schenker, avoiding all the goons out to get you shooting down from helicopters and rocket launchers, and then bring Dr. Schenker back to safety. Hey, I have a question for you. How the fuck did you survive falling out of an airplane without a parachute either? You were clearly clinging onto your seat for dear life. I mean, and I clearly did not see a parachute attached to your passenger seat, buddy. And now you actually have to fetch an antidote at this rocket launch station, which happens to be on some fictitious island in the Caribbean, judging by the ancient Aztec temple that I appear to come across later. You again have to sneak by after hearing some stupid conversations along the way while avoiding snipers with very powerful rifles.
They didn't talk to me about a massive Muron airlift. Whose idea was it to paint these damn crates orange anyway? What genius thought that up? Don't turn this into a union meeting.
We need results. If that means modifying the schedule, then that's what we're gonna do.
And this also includes, ruining a test fire equipment. I don't know, I don't know why they need to sabotage it. Was it used to actually build a powerful rocket engine to launch it further to space or at the sun? But then after destroying the rocket project, you aboard a very futuristic space station where the spontaneous combustion antidote is being stored. Oh, and this space station is absurdly technologically advanced, especially for its time. I mean, space stations we see today are not decked out like this. There's even a high-tech elevator, a rainforest dome and playground, and even a Pink Panther space lounge and bar. Which is probably the last place where you find Rudolph the Red-Nosed Drunkie wobbling around. God, is he one of the infected ones? Is this space station even supposed to be like a family resort? Like a space cruise?
It's not bad once you get used to it.
Well, maybe I just haven't gotten used to it. Because I'd rather be locked in an outhouse for a week than spend another day on this floating death trap.
And you actually have to enter the Raspberry security sector, which is the only place on the ship that has a zero-gravity field. I mean, I don't think they even figured out artificial gravity at the time. Until at least, in recent years.
This is a restricted area, you goon.
And it appears that just out of nowhere, there happens to be a warning of a meteor shower impacting the space station, coming out of nowhere without even threatening the Earth, judging by how close the Earth is. A meteor shower without being affected by the Earth's gravitational pull. And going the way of the frickin' dinosaurs. Even when the spaceship is detonating, you still have to get the antidote, which just happens to be conveniently located in the part of the ship where I happen to be trapped inside with the escape pods. Yeah, after you escape the escape pods and go back down to Earth, now you actually have to finally track down the Baroness dumbass to her vacation in the German Alps. And then when you get a look of her, you find out her real name is Felicity, and just happened to legally change her name to Baroness, as her husband's name is Baron, whose despicable nature is very evident by the amount of dead animals she wears across her neck.
What's your name?
Hans Kirchner, at your service.
You're fired.
Huh? Why?
Because if I were to shoot you, it would cause a scene. You take over here. If anybody slips by you, I swear to God, I'll have you frappé.
Yeah, I don't think an orange coat with no pants is enough to actually keep you warm enough while trekking through the snow there. And surprisingly, this stealth mission turns out to be pretty easy than expected. Just stay away from the Baroness and follow the linear path. Yeah, because these guys will not even shoot you unless you get really, really close to them, because the enemies in this game are so fucking stupid! Then after escaping the fortress, you quickly have to find a cave or a cottage somewhere before you freeze to death, which happens to be conveniently located out in the middle of the snowfields. I'm even able to recover quickly without... Oh god, no! Please!
Naked Digimon!
Here we get through the snowmobiling part of the mission. The most broken controls I've ever seen in this game. Here, this sounds like a really fun topic. Okay, problem one, the controls are very sensitive, so you can easily take sharp turns which will send you flying all over the place. And two, it's through a very narrow, steep, mountainous path, which can easily cause you to bounce around trees and fall off a cliff through your death. The snowmobile must be programmed by Mr. Volkov in this game, because it wants you to die. Yeah, you actually have to do this while constantly trying to shoot down guys who are after you. Judging by how broken the controls are, you would expect to actually track down by feet, but it looks like you need the snowmobile to actually jump ramps and travel through very breakable paths. Imagine how much sense that makes, because they go much faster. And the worst part of it is, there's no way to shoot from your snowmobile. You can't wield a gun from it. You have to constantly get out and shoot whoever's firing at you and then go back on. And you have to constantly keep this up until you reach a minefield. Yes, because you cannot be equipped with two things at the same time. Yeah, and judging how bad the controls are, imagine how impossible this would be evading landmines on a snowmobile. And then after you make it to the Chateau, you actually make your way up to the top floor in the main entrance, and you're once again, for one final time, knocked out by Armstrong. And when you wake up, you realize that you've actually been poisoned by Ingo Wagner at that club you can't pronounce. Turns out that she has less than an hour left to live. And this was all done because the Baroness is a whiny little narcissistic bitch who had her childhood ruined, and actually has a complete grudge against rich people, even though she herself was born into a rich family. And now, as soon as she goes off to do her more evil things with her, minks wrapped around her, Armstrong is here to guard me, and guess what? You have to provoke him in order to actually get into a fist fight.
I always figured you for a sissy.
I dare you to say that again.
Maybe you should trade your kilt for a skirt.
Maybe you should shut your damn cake hole before I put my fist in it.
A boss fight involving fighting Armstrong with your bare hands, which at first sounds very stupid. In fact, He cheats most of the time by shaking the ground and throwing grenades at you. Not to mention being a lot stronger, so your only best hope is to constantly dodge his attacks by hitting back and forth while constantly clicking. You're easily gonna get carpal tunnel syndrome here. Kate actually gets him to spill words on where the Baroness's lair is. Oh, and in between the game's cutscenes, you would constantly see these random cutscenes of Spice Girl lookalikes called the Elite Guard, who constantly bitch and moan about being bored.
I'm so bloody bored. I never have any fun. Me neither.
Well, no wonder, you just sit around on your couch all day looking sexy. Yeah, and this is the time where you finally get to fight them, because it happens to find out they were in this chateau the entire time, sitting on their asses.
Finally, some excitement.
And the boredom girls, as I like to call them, they have very powerful weapons here. So you best off to stay your distance. And one of them even has phosphorus latent bullets, along with a few people that also have cyanide latent bullets as well. But you can easily kill them with the cyanide bullets. And then you escape the chateau while looking at the very fancy architecture for their ski lodge. We actually get to the gondola as helicopters are searching for Kate. But it's not long until Baron Dumbass has his final meal in a ship captain's costume until he explodes. Wow, that's such an expensive castle to blow up. And in turn, this shuts off the gondola services, and you have to climb your way down when you come across the final boss battle of Dmitry Volkov.
I am not a man to trifle with. I've been perfecting methods of torture since before you were born. It would grieve me to have to demonstrate my skills on such a lovely creature as yourself.
Are you threatening me or attempting to seduce me?
I try never to get involved with women who want to kill me.
It turns out that this guy is very easy to beat, as he can easily hide behind the stalagmites as he shoots at you.
Goodbye, Dmitri.
Which is then followed by another brief sequence with the Baroness, Felicitys Dumbass, who tries to get one final revenge on you by infecting herself with that same explosive bioweapon to blow up the whole town, including myself. So it's my turn to evacuate everyone, as in less than 2 minutes, as there's still guards coming out to shoot me in this time of crisis. I mean, shouldn't they be concerned for their own life while they're chasing after me?
Poor pathetic creature.
And after that sequence, you have to fight Tom Goodman, who apparently did not die. He was, yes, apparently, it looks like he was wearing a bulletproof vest and faked his own death. He then turns out to actually be jealous of Kate Archer.
You have no idea what I put myself through, and I'm not gonna get a dime for it thanks to you.
You're the traitor.
Hey, I'm not proud of what I did, but I was gonna get a handsome paycheck as compensation. A very handsome paycheck. Unfortunately, you had to go and blow up my benefactor.
And so he tries to kill her. This time he has a revolver equipped with cyanide-tainted bullets. You know, the same kind that the poison gas had in the safe that makes you hallucinate goats and giraffes and impedes your aiming ability. After several rounds of shooting him, he finally dies. And you know what? It turns out Bruno, you know that guy who was shot at the beginning of the game? It turns out, yeah, he's not dead either. Bruno faked his own death for Kate's safety. What the fuck? And you know what? One of his own agents happens to be trying to work for Goodman to try to kill her. And Goodman was not even the real Tom Goodman. He was really just a Superman impersonator.
Tom Goodman died in Amsterdam.
What? But I thought...
The man you knew as Tom Goodman was an imposter. His real name was Melvin Blitzney. He's a former vacuum cleaner salesman from Akron, Ohio.
I don't understand.
And you get the entire detail on why things happened the way they were.
Keeping a secret wasn't enough. Smithy had to believe I was dead, which meant that you had to believe it as well. I'm truly sorry, Kate.
And believe it or not, this is where the game ends. Right after the resolve of a fucking cliffhanger. Which is followed by another fucking cliffhanger. And yes! I'm finally done with this game! I beat it! And I'm done with this! I can finally look beyond. Oh, but wait. There's a sequel!
I'm already aware of the situation, Dimitri. No matter. We'll just have to do better next time, won't we?
Wait. Who the fuck's there this time?
Signing off.